Hey folks, E3 2013 Day 1. We're here in the bowels of the Disney Interactive booth. Going to take a look at Fantasia, Music Evolved. We've got Matt Bach, the slowest of pans to Matt Bach, designer of Fantasia, Music Evolved. And then Nick Chesterton over there. You don't have to pan to him.
Yeah.
What's up, Nick?
Hey. Video game
Is it at least Star Wars Angry Birds?
Yeah,
is at least on brand?
I like to play it this way and not landscape because it's more difficult if I play it like this.
Really?
No.
Okay. You had me. I was bought into your fiction, Nick Chester. Damn you! All right, well, let's get into the underwater majesty of Fantasia Music Evolved. Matt, you want to set us up where we are here in the game and what Jessa, our lovely demoist, is going to be doing?
Yeah, so we're in one of the early levels of Fantasia. Yen Sid, the master sorcerer, has sent you off into this world called the Shoal to, find musical interactions and tease them out with your three-dimensional cursor, which we call the Muse. So Jessa moves up her hand, she'll be able to move the Muse around, and as the Muse moves over different parts of the level, it'll tease music out of the level. So you can see the brain coral lighting up, and each little thing has its own sound, and you're lucky enough to be one of the first people to experience this in full 5.1 surround sound.
It is amazing.
It
is surrounding me.
The original film was actually the first surround presentation, continuing the tradition there.
So what is, like, on a philosophical level, what is the connection between this game and kind of the original Fantasia, and what that means?
So what we really wanted to do was bring Walt's vision of Fantasia to a contemporary audience, and for us that was about thinking like, hey, this extraordinarily innovative film 70 years ago, what kind of impact did that have on people, and what kind of thing could we make now that would have a similar impact at this day and age? So Jess has spun up some seahorses, she's collected a little bit of magic. Once she finishes filling up that bar, she'll be able to go back to Yen Sid. She'll have earned her first star or moon for her own sorcerer's hat. So
there's a greater story going on here. Like, we're seeing Jesse just kind of playing with these little toys right now, but there's something more going on.
Yeah. So you're brought into the world of Fantasia and become a master sorcerer, and as often happens with the best laid plans, some stuff happens.
Sure.
Stuff happens.
Mops.
Not good stuff. But in the end, I'm sure it all works out. So Jessa can move her.
Way to undercut the drama there. I'm sure it'll all be fine.
I'm not sure. The game is coming out to 2014. Who knows?
All right, fair enough.
So we have
Dystopian World of 2014.
We have a song portal that Jessa can check out, and they're able to see some of the performance gameplay that is that's core to Fantasia. So.
Bohemian Rhapsody or fun?
Now let's do Bohemian Rhapsody. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
up to
absolutely.
you. So Jessa just sort of pinched a zoom style gesture, and now we're out in a star field. It's like when Mickey's conducting the heavens and the sea in the climactic moment of the Sorcerer's Apprentice short within Fantasia.
So obviously there are some more literal interpretations and kind of gestures towards the original Fantasia and other stuff that's a little more abstract.
Yeah, like that blue silhouette is, for us, an iconic image from the intro of the film. And when we were making the gesture vocabulary for the performance gameplay here, we were looking at like toccata and fugue and sort of the abstract art that had been made. So Jessica's going to have her first choice gesture here. She's chosen pink, which is the original mix. So these are trace gestures. And you can hear we're ducking the audio similar to a rock band as you get different gestures. These are all tied to the vocals here. Jess has a fair amount of flexibility in terms of how she wants to perform this. She can do big gestures, small gestures, and that'll be reflected on the screen.
It really feels like a kind of a genesis of the stuff that Harmonix has learned from both Rock Band and Dance Central.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of people from both teams on the project, and they've been collaborating in a really amazing way. The musical flexibility is the other thing that we started investigating pretty early on at Harmonix, and this is one of the first games we've been able to release that has this much musical agency for the player. So as Jess is playing, she's slowly transforming the classic Bohemian Rhapsody into an 80s metal masterpiece.
So I'm noticing that it's like the music mix here, it's not just like a hard switch from one style to another. Like for each time that she does that, it's kind of creeping more in one direction or another.
Now she's brought in some orchestral elements, so the blue elements are orchestral. And you can see when she's doing those choices, at the bottom of the screen, there's 4 slots, and that's the mix that she has. She's like original vocals, a little bit of orchestral, and a sort of metal bass happening.
Okay, I see, yeah.
So this is a prism, and this is going to precede a manipulator moment where Jess will be able to really reach out and sculpt this guitar solo. So when she gets all the edges of this shape, it'll light up like that. Now she's getting tons of bonus points as she's supercharging this prism. And now she's controlling the effects lathe, or effects sculptor. And this lets her do like a wob and move her hands in and out, or a delay by twisting her hands. She can record different ones and let it play back.
Matt, I'm not gonna lie, that's just about some of the coolest shit I've seen.
Thanks.
I mean, I think like the obvious thing when you say, okay, we're gonna make Fantasia into a Kinect game, like you would expect just like, okay, conducting an orchestra, and that's pretty much it, right? That's kind of what you would expect. So,
well, for us,
it's a reference to that. Like, obviously, the movements that Jess is doing kind of feel like a conductor, but it's taking it into something a little more abstract and a little more performance-y.
Yeah, a little more magical too. So here, just going to add in our awesome double kick pedal, insane metal drums.
So the actual gestures that she's making, those are going to be changed based on what path she's taking through these songs?
Yeah, so every single choice impacts not only the sound but also the authoring, because all the gestures are sequenced to the particular track that she's added. So now Jess is going to unlock the sound sketch, which will make her own guitar solo. And so she puts her hand down, she can hear what she's played. Put a new one. And now that's going to be added into the song. Now like timpanis and wind chimes, replacing those 80s metal drums.
So with all of these different kind of, musical paths that you can take through this song, like how many discrete versions of Bohemian Rhapsody are there in Fantasia?
It's an almost incalculable number, largely based on the performative nature of the manipulators.
Sure.
Like every guitar solo, every sculpt is going to be a little bit different. But just in terms of basic like combinatorics of the mix choices,
yeah,
like hundreds of versions of this thing.
I have to say that for such a kind of simple abstract game, it sure looks amazing.
Thank you. We wanted to, give the player an experience like conducting, but connect them to the music a little more deeply. And so we kind of think this as like remixing and conducting at the same time.
So how does this part then feed back into the kind of the toy, the under the sea area stuff?
I'm glad you asked.
Excellent.
Because we're about to see that. So now, as we go back into the shoal, we can see the magic that Jessa has unleashed from that song find its way into the shoal. And so if Jessa takes her muse, she can use that magic and that guitar solo or guitar riff from Bohemian to bring a turtle in. And with the turtle comes the classic piano riff from Bohemian Rhapsody. And then if Jessa zooms into that turtle, we'll hear a jazzed up version of Bohemian Rhapsody as Jessa is able to make her own jazz drum solo with clams. Because that's what video games are like.
I love that that's the rationales. Because video games, man, come on. Do I really need to explain this to you?
Fantasia gives us a bunch of license.
Yeah.
Video games give us a lot of license. We want to give people experience that, they would have nowhere else with no other product. So where else have you ever played a jazz drum solo with clams?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the thing about Fantasia, right, is that it's a combination of, like, kind of abstract and non-literal interpretations of these pieces of music, along with just some really surreal shit.
Yeah, so we're always trying to make every single animation to sync up as much as possible with all the sounds. So our sound designers are working super close to our animators. And so what Jessa's doing here is actually recording her own solo. So similar to the manipulators, when her hand's up, she can input something, and then it'll play back. So now, if Jessa zooms out, that solo she made joins the shoal. So as Jessa plays more and more songs, get more and more musical agency and more life brought to the shoal. So there's all this fish swimming around, it's got a little bit brighter, that drum solo will play every few bars, there it is. And there's another song in this realm that we can check out.
So, I mean, obviously, Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody not in the original Fantasia. What was the kind of philosophy of choosing the modern songs that are going to be in here, and also, like, are there going to be pieces of music from the original Fantasia in here?
Yeah, so we've announced that Night on Bald Mountain from the original Fantasia, like second to last song with the sequence with Chernabog, giant devil.
Yeah.
That'll be in the game. And then in terms of picking new songs, what we really wanted to do was have a broad soundtrack. Let bring people close to all sorts of types of music, and with the sort of symphonic versions of different songs, we can tie things back to the original film. But when Walt was making the original Fantasia, it was about bringing people close to classic types of music. And for us, all sorts of different types of music qualify as classic. When Walt originally was envisioning Fantasia, his whole deal was, how do we create a film that we can keep releasing, that can always be in theaters.
Right.
And so we kind of imagined, if that had happened, if Fantasia had been screened for 70 years, what would that be like? What kind of songs would be in it? And we think these types of songs would be in it. All sorts of contemporary songs, classic rock hits, classic electronic songs. So Jessa's made like an electronic marching band version of Fun. And now she can like pitch shift and do some delay to the vocals. So those vocal edits are going to stay with her. You can see like that thing in the bottom left corner means your manipulator's still playing.
So is there a way that, like, in the kind of starting bits of this game where you're explicitly explaining these kind of these gesture mechanics to the player, or is this stuff that just kind of happens over time?
Yeah, so there'll be your standard onboarding tutorial kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But actually within each song you'll be unlocking remix potential and unlocking manipulators as you play each song. So you'll be like, getting more mixes, getting more manipulators for each individual song. Like songs will have their own sort of leveling system. So by performing better and better, you'll unlock mixes faster, and all those mixes will have their own impact on the realm the song is in as well.
I feel like every new generation of video game hardware needs that game that is just a trippy light show.
We want to be that game.
Finally, we've discovered 2014's Fantavision. Oh, Fantasia, Fantavision.
I like it.
Yeah?
I like Fantavision. And I like this mix that Jess has made of the song.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, I don't like this song. I don't like this song on the soundtrack," and we're like, make it better. Like make it a song that you love.
Well, I'll admit, I like all of the songs that have been announced for this so far because I like poppy, ephemeral, catchy stuff, and that seems to be the.
I like fun.
And Night
You do not like
Above
fun.
Mountain is one of the poppiest songs I know.
Everyone knows that Alex Navarro does not like fun or video games.
So I think another sound sketcher here.
So how many of these little toys are there going to be throughout the game?
We're showing off 3, but there'll be a bunch.
Okay.
So each will have its own prism shape, and you'll know which one you're going to get based on that. But we custom author the audio for each one, so they'll sound different in every song. But we have a bunch of different ways to interact with that kind of sound. One we didn't get to check out that's pretty cool that we're showing off is like a beat slicer. You can take a sample and like do a little vocal edit, like stutter kind of thing.
One thing I'm noticing here is, this does not seem like. I don't get the sense from this, at least, that this is going to go down the path of a Dance Central where it gets very, physically demanding or just complex in a way that it becomes a skill game. Like this just seems like pretty basic gestures, moving along with the music.
So we can stack gestures in such a way that they get pretty complicated and hard to read in real time.
Okay.
But we don't want to, it's not a dance game. It's not,
Right.
a full body experience. It's about remix conducting. And while we can make levels pretty hard, you can find optimal paths in terms of scoring. The goal is not to have people sweating bullets.
Any difference between working with the Kinect One hardware and the original Kinect?
It's much nicer to stand close to your television.
Sure.
The tracking fidelity is definitely a lot better.
Yeah.
And the wider field of view will be great once we start showing off our multiplayer features. So we're psyched on that. So Jess has brought the magic of fun into the level. And we're gonna zoom into this trench right here and show off another one of these recordable music interactions. So as Jessa muses over that coral, she unleashes these puffer fish, play like a bari sax. And those fish actually sing a sample from the song that we just heard, Some Nights by Fun. And these fish play a clarinet sample from our founder, Ron Agozi. So now that Jess has learned what each fish sounds like, she can trigger, whatever one she wants, muse over them, and then put her hand down and they'll do a loop of what she just made. So if Jess zooms out, these fish will follow her back to the shoal. And now the shoal's rich with life. She has her fun and clarinet fish singing. She has her jazz clams playing drum solos. She's got there's a crab somewhere that she can play with. But essentially, as you're playing more and more songs, you unlock more and more musical interactions.
So we've seen the shoal here. Where else? What other sorts of environments can we expect to see?
So we're also showing off the press, which is kind of like a industrial, classic newspaper factory. But in the shipping game, there'll be tons and tons of different types of levels. These are a little more grounded, a little more. I wouldn't say realistic, but
they resemble places that are familiar.
Exactly. Not as abstract as some of the other places that we're going to take you. But
cool. Well, I like that. I want to see more of the abstract stuff. So that's exciting to hear. So you guys are coming to the Xbox One in 2014. Also to the original 360 as well.
Indeed. Yeah. Connect for 360 as well.
Excellent. Well, from E3 2013, thanks to Matt Bach and everyone here at Harmonix and Disney Interactive for giving us a look at Fantasia Music Evolved.